Hi, everyone, and welcome to Broker's Corner. I'm Brian from Greater Vancouver Realtors. Each month, we sit down with leaders and experts across the industry to talk through timely topics that matter to managing brokers and our members. Today, I'm joined by Mike Guinan-Browne, Principal Managing Broker with Phoenix Commercial Realty, and we'll be taking a closer look at the do's and don'ts of commercial real estate and what managing brokers should keep in mind when supporting agents who want to take on commercial work. Mike, thanks so much for coming.
My pleasure, thank you.
So,
Thanks for having me.
Getting right into the meat and potatoes of
Yep.
things, what are a couple of things that people should be looking out for? If obviously we know the market's a little slow right now, so we're seeing a bit more of residential realtors coming into the commercial space.
Yeah, absolutely.
If as a managing broker, if a residential realtor was to come to them and say, I want to take on a commercial deal, what are a couple of things that a broker should be, telling them to look out for, education that they should be getting beforehand, and general do's and don'ts? What are your thoughts?
I think the main thing, Brian, is to remember that this, and I relate it to minis and Mack trucks. You can drive a mini, you can drive a Mack truck, but if you pass a test in a mini, they don't give you the keys to a Mack truck. And further than that, you don't buy a Mack truck from a mini dealership. So I think it's all about training and support for your clients and support of knowledge for the agent.
Mm-hmm.
As a managing broker, I would say that if somebody came to me with a commercial deal, the potential of a commercial deal, that I would put them in touch with somebody rather than referring it out, because that doesn't teach somebody anything.
Mm-hmm.
It is more a matter of work with somebody who knows what you're getting into, who can help you, who can guide you, who can show you how to negotiate the deal that you want to do. And from that, you're going to learn. There needs to be a period of time where a potential commercial realtor can learn the business from somebody who knows.
Right.
And I think that's the most important message I would try and get across, is that managing brokers should be taking a more hands-on approach with residential realtors who are coming with potential commercial deals.
Right.
And saying, work with somebody. And if they don't have anyone that they can work with me, if they're experienced. Some managing brokers have the experience with commercial. A lot don't, unfortunately.
Right.
And a lot don't know that this is happening until it's too late.
Mm-hmm. So in a situation where you have, say you're a managing broker with not much commercial experience, and you have one of your agents that comes to you and says, I want to try, some commercial leasing, or I want to try selling a warehouse, or whatever the case may be. What would you do in that situation, being someone who maybe isn't as well versed in the commercial space?
Again, I think it's a matter of trying to work with somebody who has.
Mm-hmm.
We have lots of connections within the industry, and a managing broker can pick up the phone to a commercial brokerage and say, listen, I've got one of my guys who wants to do a commercial deal. It's a warehouse. Have you got somebody who wants to work with him?
Right.
It's a cooperation situation.
Right.
It's not a matter of you've got to refer it out and lose the commission, because a lot of people want to learn and want to be able to get into that. So rather than just saying, I'll take a referral commission, here's somebody who I can work with and learn the business from the ground up. In the same way that a lawyer, when they pass their bar, doesn't just simply say, okay, I can go and start being a lawyer. They go through articles.
Right.
I personally feel that commercial realtors, and all realtors in fact, should go through an articling period as an intern, as a referral, or working with somebody before they're actually allowed to stand on their own 2 feet and do their own deals.
Right.
And I think that's the safest way from the public's point of view. There's a lot of money in this business in terms of money on the line. There's a lot of risk for the public.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're dealing with somebody who unfortunately has just got their license and is driving that Mack truck, it's not the best way from the public's point of view. There's too much risk.
Right, right. And for folks who are, getting their feet wet in the commercial world, what, from your experience, do you see as the most typical failing points? Where do people typically mess up? What are the typical things people need to look out for when they are trying to do this?
They don't know, unfortunately, what they're doing, and they
Right.
don't know the steps that are necessary to do these deals.
Mm-hmm.
I've had deals where I've had listings that I've represented a buyer. I remember one in Kelowna where the listing agent didn't even know what an environmental phase one was. Well, that's pretty much a basic need for any commercial mortgage broker. They're going to need a phase one a phase one environmental assessment.
Right.
He didn't know what that was. So did he get the listing? Yes, he got the listing. Did we make the sale? Yes, but it wasn't a matter of knowledge. It was a matter of I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
Should that person be representing the seller? I question that, and I question the managing broker allowing that, knowing that realtor hasn't got the experience to do what they are trying to do.
Right.
again, it's like driving a Mini in a Mack truck or buying a Mini in a Mack truck. You know, you don't buy a Mack truck from a Mini dealership.
Yeah.
And similarly, when you pass your driving test, you're given an L to start with and then an N for a period of time until you learn.
Right.
And that is probably the most important message that I want to convey is there should be this period of time where you're articling, you're learning. And unfortunately, the industry doesn't have that set up.
Mm-hmm.
Most managing brokers don't know that these deals are being done until it's too late, until sometimes subjects are removed. And by then, somebody's committed possibly to a deal that might cripple them.
Right. And during this time of, articling or working with another commercial realtor or broker or whatever the case may be, do you have any recommendations for people in terms of, education, things they should be learning, things they absolutely have to be doing during that time as well?
Learning as much as possible. I mean, I think the CCIM, which is I know that the board is now pushing big time, and it's a very good idea. That's the type of education that you want, is to go through those steps with someone like CCIM who will teach you the basics right from the start right the way through. That's the type of education that people need to have.
Right.
Or again, working with somebody who knows what they're doing, who's been in the business for some time and has done multiple commercial deals and knows what to be expected from their client's point of view. And it's really all about supporting and giving the service to the public that we're supposed to give.
Absolutely. I mean, I was a residential realtor for a number of years, and
Right.
I was never interested in dipping my feet into the commercial world.
Yeah.
It's just a bit, it was just a bit too daunting for me.
It's risky.
But of course,
It's very
absolutely.
risky.
You learn of course, everyone's licensed to do,
Sure.
because we have different applied practice courses, but that's
Absolutely.
About it. It's so very different.
Exactly. It is
from
very
residential real estate. And
it's not better. Again, going back to the Mini and Mack truck, you don't buy a Mack truck from a Mini dealership. There's nothing wrong with Minis.
No.
Everyone wants them. But if you're looking for a Mack truck, you don't buy it from a Mini dealership. And that's probably the closest analogy I can give you is it's not, we're not smarter, we're not better, we're not more knowledgeable. We have different knowledge. And that's where the fork in the road happens. You either go for residential and you learn residential and you learn what is necessary to sell a condo or a house or whatever, or you go commercial and you learn a different skill set.
Right.
And that's really what it's all about. It's
Right.
a different skill set.
Right.
So good for you for not getting into that. But unfortunately, a lot of people do. And again, the managing brokers sometimes don't even know that this happens until it's too late. And by then,
well,
the managing broker's in trouble.
Yeah. So in sum, spend time working with another commercial agent, someone you trust.
Absolutely.
To help steward you through your first deal.
Deals.
First deals, yes. First, how long would you say? 6 months? A year?
I would say at least a year. Yeah, because we don't do 20 deals a year.
Right.
And on average, most commercial realtors or most commercial brokers don't do that many deals.
Right.
So has to be a number of deals that are under your belt. You could either say it's a year or 2 years or 20 deals or whatever. By that time, you've gone through the gambit of what's necessary in that particular asset class that you're looking at. Right. And bearing in mind, in commercial, we have lots of different asset classes.
Right.
Just because you can sell multifamily doesn't mean you can sell a hotel. Doesn't mean you can sell land. And that's, so there's different avenues.
Yes, absolutely. Well, much the same as, acreages and apartments.
Exactly.
And detached houses.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Well, I think that probably times us up for this episode of Broker's Corner. But is there anything else you'd like to say to the audience before we sign off?
Be careful. Well, when you're coming to commercial deals, when you've got a potential commercial deal, talk to a commercial realtor, somebody who has the experience, and talk to somebody and ask them for help. And I get it that you're not going to be getting the full commission, but you're going to get a much better, much smoother deal than what you would if you try and do it yourself.
Right. Got it.
So that would be my message, I think.
Well, thank you, Mike. Thanks for sharing your insight and your experience. These kind of conversations help everyone in the industry raise their game, make more informed decisions. And thank you to everyone for joining us. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on Broker's Corner.